Let's talk about Darian first, because he's your son. He's your firstborn.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think you did differently than and I know it's everything, but purposefully, like, I'm going to do this for my son because my dad was never there for me for that?
Most importantly, I always wanted Darian to know how proud I was of him.
Cool.
Right? I always would hug him and kiss him. Mm-hmm. I hug him and, hey, I hug you and kiss you now, huh, punk? With all that stinking hair on your face all the time.
Whether he likes it or not.
He's a grown man.
Yeah.
And I'm a grandfather now, and he's a father now.
Right.
But I still hug him and kiss him.
Yep.
I always did that because you know what? The hug and the kiss of a man is different than the hug and the kiss of a woman or a mama.
Yeah.
So that's number one. I always want to know I loved him all the time. Number two, I always to try to teach him everything I knew.
Yep.
Right? Football, right? You got to do this. You got to do that. Boom, 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 boom. You know, he became a very sick football player. Never taught him mechanics, right? Because he never liked to get his hands dirty. He's like, what? You know, never taught him how to fix a bike or anything like that, you know, because we never needed fixing, right? Because we just buy a new one.
Right.
Right.
Take it to the shop or
do
whatever.
Just get a new one. But for Darian, for the first 15 years, those are the things I taught him. But the things I also taught him that were bad, I taught him anger.
Oh.
I taught him explosiveness was the norm. I taught him those things as well. So there were good things I taught him, but there were also bad things that I taught him for the first 15 years of his life.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you were we talked about it on your episode with Darian, but you were the loudest on the sideline. You were there at every game. You went 0 to 100 with him, and you wanted him to be a mini you, but a transition took place, and you realized you could just be his dad and not his coach.
Yeah.
Check out that episode if you haven't. It's an amazing episode. But I'm a father as well to a 2.5-year-old baby girl. She seems like she's turning 11 soon. She's so big. But what was the difference of having a daughter that needs a father? Because it's a totally different experience from my understanding.
Yeah, so a girl sees their daddy, and I promise you, what they see is what they're going to go after when they get older. Right? So if their daddy is an abusive daddy to their mother, they'll get into an abusive relationship thinking it's normal. When Nyla was born, she's 4 years younger than Darian, she went through a lot of that crazy too. Right. It wasn't until Shylin was born. Shylin was born 11 years after Darian was born. We call her the Cabo baby.
Was it oops?
Oh, we were in Cabo. So she came. At the time she was born in 2009, I really didn't start my journey of changing until 2013.
Okay.
2013. But now, today, I've done a lot to try to unwind those things that I did. So when I sit with Darian and I talk to him, now he's a daddy, I kind of coach him a little bit about his marriage with his wife and how he should be, because having a baby is very difficult, and it triggers you. If you're exhausted and things like that, you get triggered and maybe you might snap a little bit and things like that. But I try to tell him, please make sure Cairo doesn't hear that. Make sure Cairo is not in that atmosphere, because he remembers that atmosphere, and I'm sure he doesn't want that for his son. So now I'm kind of unwinding what I've done with my son and my daughters, but all by the grace of God.